asking this of every guest, though I failed to ask Brad Gilbert this because we ran into a wall. Who's in the Super Bowl this year, Sia?
Oh, that's an easy one, Gill.
Oh.
It's the San Francisco 49ers versus tonight's Buffalo Bills.
Wow.
Easy.
Is that there's a third different combination we've got, right?
I believe it is.
A sharing team so far.
So we had Drew said Cincinnati versus the Rams.
Rematch from last year.
Jordan said Arizona.
I don't even remember what his AFC team was.
Because I was so wrapped up in Arizona.
Yeah.
Right.
Arizona.
He might have said Buffalo. I don't know.
He might have.
He lost. As soon as he said Arizona, I was like,
I don't
what?
remember, yeah. I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah. All right, and you're going with San Francisco against Buffalo. I think there's a path for the Niners. I really do.
I mean, it's the NFC. There's a path for the top 6 or 7 teams in the NFC, whereas the AFC is a lot more problematic. And honestly, you got Kyle Shanahan, Trey Lance. I'm not sure what to expect, but we saw with RG3 a fresh quarterback with a read option, and Alfred Morris. Like they can do this with Trey Lance and Elijah Mitchell, and Brandon Ayuk is stepping it up. Deebo Samuel. I think this is a great team. It's a Kyle Shanahan offense, and their front 7 is excellent. I think the path for the Niners is way easier for a team in the AFC that I would say is like third or fourth odds in the AFC. It's way easier for teams like the 49ers.
Okay. Let's go to some awards here. Let's start with the MVP. Shohei Ohtani, not eligible for this one. Josh Allen, 7-1. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, 8-1. Justin Herbert, plus 850. Everybody else, beginning with Aaron Rodgers, double digits. What you like?
So on that screen, what I like the most, unfortunately, is the shortest odds, which is Josh Allen at plus 700. And that's because I think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. I think they're the best team in the AFC. And we know a quarterback on the best team in football is probably going to be likely to get an MVP. So plus 700 isn't a terrible number to me. I think if we're going to go long, I think maybe as we see here, I wouldn't get Lamar Jackson. Okay, so Lamar Jackson 16-1 in some places. For the record, he's 20-1. Jalen Hurts is 22-1 or 20-1, depending on where you look. So Lamar Jackson at 16-1, Jalen Hurts at 22-1. I do like the Jalen Hurts comment is purely because he is in the NFC, and it might be easier for him to get to the Super Bowl. The way the Eagles are going to run their offense, I do see him enjoying a Lamar Jackson. The ceiling for Jalen Hurts is a Lamar Jackson type of season from 2 years ago. As far as Lamar, Ravens are going to be a good team this year. They have a great defense because they're finally healthy. Their offensive line is healthy. It's a great organization. Harbaugh, an extremely underrated coach. If they go back to old school, punch you in the mouth Lamar Jackson football, which I expect them to do, 2 tight end sets, 3 tight end sets at times, Lamar Jackson is going to have his way if he's healthy.
Okay, and Lamar Jackson, by the way, negotiating his own contract. So if he has an MVP run, let alone then perhaps an MVP, what a fine negotiating ploy perhaps this will have been. What a fine choice this will have been for him. Okay, Offensive Player of the Year. We've talked about this. Then this is given out by the Associated Press. And this is typically, the MVP typically goes to a quarterback based on the numbers, based on the impact of a game. But, so what ends up happening is this ends up being typically, over the years anyway, when running back was emphasized back in the day in the NFL, it was a running back award, if you will. We've had 2 receivers in the last 3 years. So this is, as the game has changed, so has this award. Michael Thomas, followed by Derrick Henry, but then Cooper Kupp again last year. Jonathan Taylor, who really kind of might have gotten snubbed on this. I mean, it was really between Kupp and Taylor last year. Taylor is 10-1, Kupp is 12-1. As is Deebo, as is Justin Jefferson. Both of those guys 12-1 for the Niners and Vikings respectively. And then Derrick Henry is 16-1. Who won it 2 years ago. And then everybody else, beginning with Devontae and Lamar Jackson, that's when the quarterbacks sort of seep back into this. They're all 20-1 and longer. What do you like here? JT should be the short shot, shouldn't he?
Yeah, probably. And I don't think Kupp is going to mirror a season he had last year. That's no disrespect to him. I just think that's an impossible thing to do. I think Justin Jefferson at 12-1 is interesting. That's probably too short of a number. I don't see Devontae Adams getting it. I think Lamar is certainly in the conversation. On the screen that we see here, I think JT and Justin Jefferson make a lot of sense. If we go down the board a bit, this is a long shot. But if we go to the 40-1 range, we will see Aaron Jones at 40-1. Now, if the Packers actually make the Super Bowl, which again, in the NFC, it's an extremely viable proposition. They don't have Devontae Adams. Well, what happens to the Green Bay Packers when they don't have Devontae Adams? We have historical data to tell us that Aaron Jones is involved heavily in the passing game and, of course, in the running game. If he goes off and he stays healthy and he has a ton of catches, I'm not saying he's going to have a McCaffrey-type reception year, but if he has something somewhere close to that and this team gets to the Super Bowl, I think Aaron Aaron Jones at 40-1 is interesting to speculate on.
All right.
Love that bet. Myself and Matt Brown both on that one as well.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, look at you. Offensive Rookie of the Year. The Rookie of the Year, offensively. This one's always a lot more art to me than others. Maybe you feel differently about Offensive Rookie of the Year. Kenny Pickett, though, it makes sense because he's the only quarterback on this short board here. He's at 9-1. When will he play? Well, it won't be week 1. It won't be starting week 1. We know that's Mitch Trubisky. But if Kenny Pickett can play a lot of football games, he is justified as the short shot. Everybody else is double digits with the exception of George Pickens, wide receiver for the Steelers, at 9-1. Any thoughts?
Well, what's interesting here is we see Romeo Doubs at 12-1. But the reality is we have a healthy Christian Watson at 16-1, who is probably going to be the alpha receiver, especially if Allen Lazard, continues to be banged up with a soft tissue injury. I think Christian Watson at 16-1, again, we're talking about high-powered teams that are going to get a lot of wins. Devontae Adams has vacated the premises. I think Christian Watson could step in as the alpha number 1 wide receiver, with Allen Lazard being second fiddle and perhaps Romeo Doubs falling in third or fourth in that order. So I think if I had to lay a bet here, I think it would be Christian Watson at plus 1,600. Of the guys at the top, the thing about Kenny Pickett, maybe if that was like 15-1 or plus 1,500, I'm just not so sure I'm into that because I don't think the leash on Mitch Trubisky is as short as people think. I think Mitch Trubisky is a fine quarterback.
I agree
Kenny
with
Pickett,
that.
we might see Kenny Pickett this season.
Yeah.
He's the future for Pittsburgh, but I just don't think plus 900 is valuable enough. We don't even know when he's coming into play.
There's just no reason to bet it now, right?
No, exactly.
I mean, wait until you actually get an inclination that he might start and then bet it then because every week he doesn't play, that number is just going to get longer and longer.
Real quick, Coach of the Year. Give me about 30 seconds on this. Any thoughts? Brandon Staley is the short shot. The aforementioned Brandon Staley. What do you like?
I mean, I think I might go with Harbaugh. Where is Harbaugh on this list? Because I'm assuming that his odds are pretty favorable. So, Coach of the Year, Dan Campbell.
I was going to say
12-1.
Dan Campbell all of a sudden now the short shot at BetMGM.
If you thought, that the Hard Knocks bump isn't a real thing.
Yeah.
That is your best evidence for it right there. This is no disrespect to Dan Campbell, but he does not belong at the top of that list. Kevin O'Connell, Brandon Staley, those are interesting. Probably too short for me. None of the guys on that page are super interesting to me.
Harbaugh 25-1.
Yeah, I think the Ravens have a shot to get to the Super Bowl this year. I understand the Bills are the favorite, but I think the Ravens have a shot. And if they get there, Harbaugh needs to win this award.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds. Listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.